Live, and we are recording. So what have you learned? So what did you learn this week? What do you want to share? What are your ahas? Right? I always got to have 3 to move ahead. So what do you got for me? Karen's, I see her raising her hand, but she doesn't think she's raising her hand. She's fixing her camera. But I'll take that as a raise your hand. What do you got for us this week, Karen?
I don't have anything. I'm sorry, because
nothing. That hurts.
This is the first session I'm attending this week. So thank you.
Who's got something? Who's got something to share? Remember, nobody's safe from me picking you out loud.
Hey, David, one thing I've picked up this week, really enjoying, is the new push notifications coming from the mobile app. So I know there was a consumer class, and that mobile app is getting a lot better very quickly. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's working great. Like I told you in that class, just I follow my town and I follow where I want to retire, right? And I get those push notifications now, bright and center, of price drops, updates, active listings, right to my phone now without even logging into the app. And I love that. Your consumers will too. Great point, Kyle.
So good morning, this is Burnett. I was just going to say I wasn't able to make it every day. I think I did maybe 2 or 3 days. However, I did from yesterday. I hadn't had a chance to try the social post, but I liked having that knowledge now, so I can go out and practice that.
So the quick post and the post scheduler is something
Yes.
you can leverage, right? Fantastic. Good points. All right, I need one more.
I do have something to add. I was thrilled yesterday to receive the email about the branded magazines, and I almost deleted it thinking it was another company that always sends me these, and I realized, no, this is Keller Williams.
That's right.
So are you going to be doing a training on that soon? I can't quite remember if it's technically launched or if it's coming soon.
Sure. Great question. So we actually went over that the other day inside of Designs, which is recorded, and the next Designs class, which was only, now 2 weeks away, we will cover that in a little bit more detail there as well. But if you could build a listing presentation in Designs, you can build the magazine.
Sure.
Right? So for those of you who not quite sure what she's asking about, so American Lifestyle Magazine is something that a lot of us have used over the years in our business. You get to customize your picture on the front, you get to write a little intro letter, and that's really about it, because the rest of the content is predetermined for you. KW, in his relationship with We Brand, who is our designs partner, has rolled out a branded agent magazine that you guys can now, it's 16 pages. It's coming out quarterly. This is like the winter edition that you could actually go in and add more information to, spotlight properties, spotlight vendors. Make sure you walk all the way through, because there's a lot of fill in the blanks in there, and you can download, print it, email it, break it apart, all kinds of different things. It's a really, really amazing step forward for something for you guys to have in your business. So good points there, Karen.
Sorry, and where do we find that?
That's inside the Designs. Okay. If you go to print, it'll be under, I think it's under lead generation. I'm going off the top of my head.
David, do you know, is there any thought being given to coming up with a way to have it printed and mailed for us?
Sure. Yeah, that is being thought of.
Okay.
They wanted to get it out and not wait for it. They're working with different purveyors. Like I will tell you, so there's a company called Brandco that you can use. KW has a relationship with your local, with Office Depot. You can go to your local FedEx and download. So you can really do a lot of things, but yeah, that's the one thing that's missing, is to do direct print out there. And my guess is it'll be kind of a step pro. So I don't know if it'll be like a direct mail component, because there's a cost, that would be a heavier cost, versus just drop shipping like 50 or 100 to your market center that you kind of go from there. That involvement will continue to evolve, but they wanted this in your hands right away and not wait for that piece.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely. Just like anything, right? We roll it out, which is like version 1 of something, and it just continues to get better and grow from there over time. All right, fantastic. So let's go ahead and get jumping in today. Back page. Today we're going to cover referrals. And I've been working on my little snippets of what each day is. And who thinks of KW as the largest real estate company in the world? Did you guys realize that you were? Like, that's not just a statement, that's fact, right? We're not known as the referral company. We're the world's largest real estate company. But with that comes the moniker that by default, you are the largest real estate referral company in the world. And I don't know how many of you take advantage of the ability to send out referrals But that is a great resource for you of income, right? I had 2 referral checks last month that I sent. One was local or local-ish because it was in Virginia, and the other one was in Naples, Florida, right? That's just a great value add for you, your consumers, and your business. And when we talk about all those other things that we covered over the last couple of weeks, right? We talked about engagement. We talked about your clients' use of your mobile app. Talked about your clients creating accounts and looking at properties, and you sharing the monthly neighborhood nurture with those people outside your local sphere, right? Because when they're doing that, they're raising their hand and saying, wow, I'm interested in going somewhere else. And when they're interested in going somewhere else, you can be that pivot point to introduce them to somebody. And I challenge that many of you don't have those conversations yet, right? You can get scripted, you can get comfortable in that. Because what was an aha for me a couple of years ago when I relocated here to Northern Virginia, even before that, I would get questions from friends, family. Hey, I'm selling my house, or I'm in the middle of a transaction, and my realtor tells me this, right? Have we all gotten those calls, right? We get those calls, right? And unfortunately, we get those calls too late because we can't provide feedback when they're under contract with somebody. Like that's a delicate position to be in, right? Oh, and say, no, your realtor's nuts. And you can't do that. You get in a lot of trouble. So I had to have the conversation, and that was happening quite often. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing a good enough job with my friends, family, and sphere outside of my local marketplace to let them know that I can be that resource for them. And I challenge you to say that I'm still not doing a good enough job with that to generate that passive income through referrals. So think about that. Think about the calls that you've gotten. Think about the people that you've helped out outside, right, of your personal local sphere. And think if you could be more deliberate about lead generation for those going external. Anybody have any thoughts on that before we jump into the hows inside of command? Does that strike a chord with anybody? Anybody thought of that?
It does for me. I'm still waiting for my license to come in. So,
Okay. So awesome.
I am a military brat, and I work in a military area, so I know people from all over. So I like the idea of being able to help them if they need to, even though they're not in my specific location.
PCS is a big thing, right? I mean, we live in an area, but there are military bases all around the world where people are coming and going, right? Like I know agents in this area that's their lifeblood. Like I know an agent in her 3rd year of business this year went from $8 million to $23 million in production, and 90% of what she does is military.
I haven't done military. This is Juanita in Richmond West. I haven't done military, but I did have 2 referrals. Well, actually it was 1 referral, but it was a buy and a sell. So I got the referral on both sides in New Jersey.
Yeah. Buy and sell, double in that, right? I sent out a referral for an investor that's buying multiple properties. We had a conversation about that because I knew what was going to happen in advance. So it wasn't a one-off. It's a return on investment type of thing that I'm introducing somebody that's going to work with you and they're going to buy multiple properties. So we have an agreement that I get a little bit of taste of each one, right? There's value in those leads, right? Especially there's a difference between a cold handoff and a warm handoff or a, hey, they're going to do something type of handoff, right? There's value in that. Don't be greedy, but be real on what that expectation is and what you're bringing to the table, right? The further along that relationship is, it's not like just somebody just registered on a Facebook page and then I'm passing that off to Martinsburg because I don't do business out there. Here's somebody that I know that like and trust me, called me, right? And I'm passing that along. So I'm not going to talk about percentages. I don't get into that, but understand there is a different value to some people, right? All right. So we are the largest referral company in the world. So when it comes to our referral network and things that take place, what do you need to have in play for you inside of command to look right? So if you remember all the way back to session 1 and a couple of sessions in between, we talked about profiles and we talked about you having 2 profiles in KW. You have an agent to agent facing profile and you have a marketing profile. Today we're talking a little bit about that agent to agent profile, right? So that's that first profile. When you actually click on settings inside of command, it says profile. That's an agent to agent profile that's pulling from KW command and it talks to each other, goes back and forth. When you start looking up agents inside our ecosystem, that's what you're seeing. So the story, the bio that you have there, right? you write 2 bios. You have your marketing bio, and then you got your KW bio. So in your KW bio, you talk about different things. You say you're with your ALC. You say that you're in different levels of production. You say that you went to Ignite, or you went to Bold, or you're a tech ambassador, your market center tech trainer, right? All those Kool-Aid related KW monikers that the general public doesn't understand. But in our system, it matters, right? People want to go to those that have been through certain classes, right? They don't want to see people that are on teams or not on teams. I'd like to work with brand new agents. Some people like to work with seasoned agents, right? If I'm hiring somebody that's I can talk to that's hungry, that hasn't done a lot of business, I know that my client's going to get all kinds of attention. Versus if I refer them to a team, are they working with that rainmaker? Are they working with somebody on their team? It depends. So again, when I go back to that, people get scared about not having any transactions and posting their stuff. How you present yourself online matters. Complete profiles, headshots, contact information, a story about you, something that they can connect with inside the KW ecosystem matters. So having that agent bio complete and not blank and empty, because I will tell you, and I've done this, and this is new agents and seasoned agents, if their online likeness is not complete, I will take a pass. If you don't have an online presence, you don't have a KW online presence, I'll skip you. That's me personally, right? That's how I look at things. So understand that what you do and don't do inside of Command matters. And you will never know if somebody skipped you. That's fair, right? If you don't have a complete online profile and somebody passes, you're not going to, you can't put a value on that. So just kind of think that through. So agent to agent bio, proper contact info. What should you say in that bio, right? Again, you're trying to connect. And if you're brand new, then that might look very similar to your marketing profile. But the longer you're with KW, you'll be able to update that about production and involvement and going to family reunion or mega camp or graduating Bold, right? Attending all of Kyle's training classes in the Virginia Alliance group, or attending all these classes, or being Command skilled. Like, you're going to build that up over time. Go ahead, Kyle.
I was just going to say, if you're a new agent too, don't hesitate to put your background and what you think you excel at, because I've had a couple different agents that, Juanita, right? I see Juanita down there, CPA background. Like, there are things that certain people look for. So even if you're a newer agent, don't worry about it just being real estate related information.
Spot on, right? And I could not agree with that more. They're looking for a reason to connect with you. And it could be any background. It could be where you're from, where you went to college, what your hobbies are. Absolutely highlight those things. Don't be paralyzed that you're new to real estate. All right, so we're going to come back to that. We're going to walk through the dashboard. We're going to talk about KW referrals, talk about tracking external referrals, and we're going to talk about how to search for agents and other parts of KW. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my screen here. I'm going to go back here. So let me just bring this home and drag this up to the screen. I have to reshare that. I know that you guys aren't seeing this, right? You're still just seeing the slide deck, right? All right, so I have to change up my display. Give me 1 second. And share the screen. All right, you guys all seeing my command now? Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into referrals here on the left-hand side. So it's that little referral icon right there. And this is your dashboard. This is your referral deck. What you see here is my referral platform, whom I'm connected with. A lot of you guys may have seen those, like around family reunion or mega camp. I actually got an email yesterday because somebody must have pulled my registration from knowing that I was going to family reunion to try to connect me. So you'll see these kind of spike at different times of year where there'll be global invitations starting to go out as you're looking for people. But you're going to have a list if you've invited or connected with agents around KW. So there's your list. Okay. And you can search by agents. I've connected with 139 people. Now remember, just because you're connected with someone doesn't mean you have to send them a referral. So if other agents are requesting to connect with you, just connect with them. That just gives you a quick line to somebody in an area. You can do your further due diligence as to whether you're going to actually pass them a referral over time, right? But there's that quick link here on my screen that if I needed to send something to St. Petersburg, Florida, I could send that here. right? If I need to send something to Summerlin, Vegas, then I'm gonna connect with Ollie, right? So that's your kind of your hot list of people that you know. And then you've got your little dashboard, invites. That means like, are people trying to connect? Either I've sent somebody or somebody sent one in to me, right? Do I have pending referrals that are waiting to be received out to somebody? Have I received, back a page. Do I have received inbound referrals? And then do I have any, or what is it sent? What's going out in somebody's inbox? So that's what we're walking across here. You can grow your network, right? Growing your network is probably one of the first things you're going to do, right? So think about where you live or where you've come from, where you went to college, right? Where do you know the most people, right? In your personal life outside of where you live, right? So if I were to say, hey, I'm Philadelphia, or I was from Arizona, right? So if I type in a search map, I've got drop downs here: production, market center, my network. So I'm already connected with, and referral patterns. We'll walk through that. But say if I go, hey, I need to refer somebody, I leave it at production, to Gilbert, Arizona. I got my drop down list. My map's going to zoom in right on Gilbert, right into Gilbert, Arizona. And on the right-hand side, I have a list of all the agents that have done transaction on this screen. And the further I zoom in into an area, we've got these teardrops that have kind of clustered everything together. But the further I go in, the more the dots start to spread. Okay. The reason that the dots are spreading is because that's the number of KW transactions in a 12-month period that's taken place in this particular area that you're zooming in on. So I'm zooming in here on Val Vista Lakes, which was a neighborhood where I used to do business, but I know a couple of agents. But every time I zoom in a little closer, the list on the right-hand side starts to narrow down. I'm now under 70. So there are 76 agents that account for all these transactions on the screen. And when I hover over the agents on the right-hand side, you'll see some of those dots turn from green to red. What do you think that means?
That agent had the transaction.
Those properties associated with that agent.
Look at that. Those properties are associated with those agents, right? That's the transactions that they did, right? Now, you just keep plugging around and say, okay, so now I have a good idea. And here's 76, and maybe I don't know anybody here. And at 76, oh, they changed. Is it 50 now? I think it used to be 100. You zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So as I zoom in even closer, okay, I'm down under 50. This broadcast referral button popped up. So what I could actually do, if I knew that I was sending something into this area, I could do a broadcast referral that would go to everybody on this list under 50. Okay.
Cool.
Generic information, okay, about my transactions. So these people on this list will receive an anonymous, right? So it'll come across anonymous, or I could say, hey, I could say who I am. Invitation to partake and represent a client. Does that mean I send it to them? No. It says that I'm trying to reach out to somebody, okay, to learn more about them. And the great thing about doing this broadcast is like, who's going to respond first? It's going to tell you a lot about them, right? Are they monitoring? Are they engaged? Are they looking online? Are their systems set up? Do they respond? Are they able to respond? This is just interesting things that you'll learn about very quickly, long before you ever talk to somebody, right? So I could send that out and say, hey, I need to send out a buyer. I can scale out what my referral might look like, right? Be careful here. Don't be greedy, right? How do I want them to respond, or how quickly do I want them to respond? What's the price point? Any notes in the message, right? If they're a client in my database, which they should be, contact information, right? That I could search for contact, or I can create a new contact from my database and share that information and then send that broadcast out. And then wait and see who responds to you. That broadcast is a great way to introduce yourself into an area, especially, right, if it's an area where you know that, hey, I got a cluster of people that live here, and you can connect with multiple agents. And it might be just in the beginning, hey, I'm looking to establish relationships with some people because I know a lot of people here. Let's start some dialogue. Let's start looking at what that might look like. And I purposely chose this because it's the area where I did business, and I have agents that I refer. Garrett's on this list. Garrett is somebody I work very closely with. Barbie King is somebody that I work closely with. And then when you click on their names, you learn more about them, right? You get their production, you get their contact information, their closed units in this area on the map, right? How much business, how much production have they been in? Do I want to send them a referral? Okay. I can even click on their name, okay? And it brings up that agent to agent facing profile where I can learn more about them, get their bio, learn about their team, learn about who they are. So that's why I said it's important for you inside a command, okay? Up here under the upper right-hand side, this profile right here, that should be complete, right? That's important because that's what they're seeing. All right. This is the production map. And like I said, it really is anywhere we have transactional data for our KW agents, it will work. Zoom out, back out of here. So let's pause here for a second. What do you guys think about this map, drilling down on agents, looking at agents, broadcasting, going into an area we don't know anybody yet? Is that incredible value for you? Kyle, I see your working room. Anything jumping out in the queue in the chat?
Nope, just had a couple questions about like where do these numbers come from? You know, they do come from the Winmore system, the KW side. The advantage to that is any off-market properties are included, right? So that's not just the MLS data. It'll be anything that was processed through your brokerage.
How many of you knew that this was here? Let's put the new agents aside. How many of you have been with us for a little while and didn't know that this was here? Good.
I knew it was there. Kyle had told us it was there, but I didn't know exactly how it all worked.
Okay, fantastic. You also have, you know, I want to try to cover as much as I can. So there's filters in here, right? So I can filter by agents, by transactions, right? I can filter by team. I can focus on list or buy side, right? Events, if I've met them or did they attend KW events, right? Are they a mastery? Are they in luxury? So you do have that ability to filter down if there's something specific, right, that you're looking for as you're trying to connect with different agents. So that's how you filter an area based off of production. Well, I can also zoom in on an area by market center. So let me zoom out a little bit more. I go back to Arizona. As I zoom out, I see the locations of all the market centers in, this is what we call the Southeast Valley of Arizona, okay? Mesa, Tempe, Chandler, Gilbert. So here are those market centers and where they're located. And this one here is my old market center. Actually, I was in both of these market centers at different times. But you could actually click on a market center, right? And then you'll see the list of agents, the rostered agents in that market center. So if somebody was to click on Richmond West, right, on our map, then they're going to see the list of all the agents in that market center. And then they can zoom in by production and kind of see that additional information. So your information is all showing up here, but what I want to show you is that some have pictures and some don't, right? That's a telltale sign, right? Chris, actually, now I know Chris is actually the TC for the market center. So that's why I know his is blank. But if there was an agent on here that I was looking for and I see zero information, I don't see a profile, I don't see a headshot, I might skip over them. I'm not going to skip over them necessarily because they have zero production, but I am going to skip over them if their online profile inside of KW is not complete. So what does your online referral presence look like? So that's how you can literally search by location, area, market center, and agents, right? So I just want to know that you have your options there. And then if you were looking into a particular area and you said, show me my network, whoop, glitched out on me. You could also see agents in a particular area that you are connected to. That's what it wants to do, but at the minute it's not refreshing properly on me. So let me jump back to my dashboard. The other cool thing on the map, I can change by referral patterns. Referral patterns look at all the KW referrals that take place. Now, this is, oh boy, I have to have an area in here. So let's go ahead into Austin. Okay, there we go. Referral patterns are based off of the information that KW has inside of Winmore, inside of KW, of referrals that have been passed back and forth across the company. Now, I think this is the biggest area of opportunity for us to get better, because I know a lot of opportunities and referrals are still taking place outside of this system because we use paper, right? We get a referral signed off on. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not tracking it, you're not inputting it into the system, okay, then this information is lacking. So when I say it shows us that, hey, sent referrals from Austin to Texas, 6% of all outbound referrals from Austin, Texas went to Dallas. Now, the question I have here is, because there's no way to really for me to know, is how many does that 6% actually represent? But I can tell you it's not as big a number as it could be based off of everybody actually sharing and sending us referrals inside of this platform. So let's kind of bring that local. Let's say that I wanted to look at Richmond. Oop. So you guys are there. Who's in Richmond? Kyle, Danielle, Tara, right? So how do these numbers feel? Does it feel like most of the referrals that are going out are going to Virginia Beach? Or it makes sense that they're local-ish, right? And then all of a sudden we see Cherry Hill, New Jersey pop up. Okay, that's interesting. We see Florida pop up. Now look at these. So that's outbound. Let's look at inbound. So right here, so we have a send and receive button. Let's look at inbound. So now here's everything. So Chantilly, Virginia has sent 10%. 10% have gone from Chantilly to Richmond. That's a big number.
Hey, David.
Go ahead, Kyle.
I was going to say, so one of the things to think about here is one of the big employers in Richmond is Capital One, right? And so the thing to do here with these maps is, like, military is a good thing too. Is it going to if you're in Norfolk, are they coming from San Diego? Are they coming from Hawaii? Right? Because what this map tells me is, there's a Capital One in Reston and there's a Capital One up in New Jersey, right? So are we seeing a lot of referrals that are moving between all those spaces, going back and forth to Richmond because of that major employer? So something to think about when you're looking at these migration maps.
Absolutely. And these tell a story. And like I said, this is a small percentage of where I think this will go when we get better at tracking our referrals. But understanding your local market and where people are coming and going from. Like if I was in Crystal City and I see a lot of people coming from Seattle, it's because Amazon, right? Or Capital One. And when I first moved here in 2012, there was a large migration from Exxon going back to Texas. So there's a lot of people going that way. So this tells you, okay, I need to get with people in those areas. And maybe I need to start running targeted Facebook advertising into those areas because people are coming here. So it's not just about how, but it's the why and what you get from it and how can you incorporate it into your business. So here, so this is, all right, so top 20 from 217 results shown. So there's 217 that have taken place from coming and going from Richmond. Sorry, received from Richmond. So that's kind of what this number's up here. So let's pause here for a second. What do you guys think about this?
It looks good, but I would have to go back and watch the whole thing and see how I get it done.
Okay.
But
knowing it's there for you, right? Knowing that's a couple clicks away, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That you can really kind of like there's that aha, there's that wow, like wow, these referral providers are. And what if I went to where I'm from, right? I went to Jenkintown, PA, right? Or I used Gilbert, Arizona, right? I can see that people from Jenkintown going to Florida. Like, look at that, Florida. Not a surprise that people on the Eastern Seaboard are heading down to Florida, right?
So is that all the detail you see just from city to city? Or can you see? Okay.
At this point, right? That's like my favorite answer about things with command at this point, right? These things will continue to get enhanced. The more data we have, and that's why I say it's important for data collection. Data collection is important. Right? The more referrals you guys put in, the more information that about those referrals. So it's not just putting the referral in, it's tracking those referrals, right? Tracking from opportunity, cultivate, active, close. All that information inside the system has to happen for us to be able to use Kelly, that data, the artificial intelligence on the back end, to provide us more and more information that we would find helpful. So on the surface, it's great, but in the future, the amount of detail we give it can be even more. All right, so let's come back all the way out the dashboard. Let's kind of go into my referrals. So I'm sorry, what is it? So there's a track referrals button here. I'm gonna jump around a little bit, I'm sorry. So I could actually track an external referral. Is there a time and place that maybe you need to send a referral to somebody that's not inside KW? Does that happen? Of course it happens, right? We're not everywhere.
Sorry, are people in Europe in the system? Can you also do referrals if it's out of the country on the command?
Let's do this.
Okay, London. Okay. All right. Okay.
Now, it'll vary. We obviously have a presence in London.
In London, yeah.
Right. It's all about how they get the data for certain areas. And I know I've looked at different areas, different islands, like Costa Rica, Mexico, and I'll see certain things in other places. It all depends on where we can pull some of that data from.
Mm-hmm.
So like, here's London, here's the agents, but I wasn't seeing all the detail for the transactions. So you'll see some information or not all when we start leaving and going outside the country. So the answer is yes, to a degree.
Okay, thanks.
Of course. All right, so back to my dashboard. All right, so when I click on my referrals, okay, I've got another dashboard here: pending, active, funded, lost, expired, rejected, or all. Right? So those are different stages of referrals that I've kind of sent out to other agents in KWRI. Right. So this is what those cards look like. And so it tells me who I sent it to, what the arrangement was, who the contact was. Okay. Were they a buyer or a seller? Okay. I click on send an update, that's going to the agent. Okay. But just so you know, when you send the contact and that contact information goes to another agent, your contact card and their contact card are not connected. So if they're updating things on their contact card and their command, it's not updating on your side. It doesn't work that way. Okay. But what you do see is the pipeline, the opportunity tracking. Right. So it tells me what phase are they in? Are they in cultivated? Are they under contract? Right. And the send update goes both ways. The agent can send you an update and you can send them a question about the update. Where are they going? Because agents still need to be coached, right? So when I send a referral, I do have a conversation about, hey, I'm going to send you this, but I need you to use the platform. I need to know where they are, right? So here's a chat. This was an agent that I was working with to send him information, right? So we were communicating inside of this referral pattern so I could see what was going on. So you should have conversations that when you are going to agree to send somebody an opportunity, okay, that they agree to track and update the referral portion of that relationship. Right? That's fair, right? So if I send a contact to Rebecca, okay, and Rebecca agrees, yeah, Dave, I'd love to work with your client. I'd like, Rebecca, great, but I need you to update this so that I know where we are. That's a fair request, right? Let's take the guesswork out of where my clients are. Now, in time, if I had to guess, and I don't, it's not on, so I throw things out there sometimes. Would it be great, and I know there's some requests for that on our pipeline, where we see listings, buyers, right, and then leases, that there was a pipeline for transactions, referral status. that showed up on that pipeline. So I do know that's something that they're looking at and they're talking at to kind of bring some of that stuff more forward. But right now, this is kind of where this tracks and how this works for you, sent and outgoing. So the onus is on the receiving agent, the working agent, to update this record with the most up-to-date information. And every time they move that through the pipeline, okay, in that opportunity, you receive this information as update. Here's the great thing about this, right? A lot of times we talk about Kelly for pager notifications. This is one of the platforms that's more robust, and that when the agent on the other side moves it through their pipeline, you will actually receive an email letting you know that there's something going on with that relationship. So you're not 100% reliant on Kelly to notify you or command at the red bell. You get both, but you will also receive an email. The referral platforms are email enhanced, so you receive that communication. It's not real complicated. There's a lot of things behind the door here, but it's really another one of those things that I highly encourage you to kind of go in, play around with, start sending out referrals. Look, if you're in Richmond, connect with people in Ashburn. We just showed you Chantilly. Connect with people in Chantilly, right? Connect with people in New Jersey. Say, hey, I was going through the referral patterns. I know that we have people coming and going from your areas. Let's get on a call. I'd like to introduce myself. And you can do that through the back end and establish a connection. This is one of the ones that there's not a whole lot of meat, so it'll take a full hour to go to all of this. If I had a new referral that I wanted to create in the upper right-hand side, just click new referral, right? And click find an agent, or I can either find an agent off the screen, or I can go through an agent that's already in my network. I click find an agent and I can search. And I'll see that I had, like if I knew it was going to Albie, but if I didn't have a connection in a certain area, then I could find that agent and give them that information. Again, contact information will be passed from my database and essentially create a copy of my contact record of that client inside of theirs. And when they create it, the cool thing is it'll prompt them to create an opportunity. So it's not, now they can bypass that, and that's part of your conversation with them. Is that, hey, when we agree to do this, I want you to create that opportunity right away. The system's going to prompt them to do so. It can't force them to do it, but it'll prompt them to do it. So I encourage you when you're having these conversations, right? And you send it, all right, I'm going to send you this, you're going to get this, receive it, accept it, and then when it's prompting you, please create the opportunity, because you'll see if it's not created and you don't want to chase them down for that. So that's a respect thing. But if you set the table, so this is what my expectation is for you to get my referral, I think everything's going to be okay. Now, I know one of the questions that comes up sometimes, like, if I do this, do I still need to do the paper signed copy of sending a referral? I'm going to tell you the answer, the legal answer. It depends, right? Depends what your brokerage, depends on your market center, right? Depends if that's the policies that they need in place. My recommendation is at this point, I would say yes. That way your MCA, your TL knows your broker signed off on that approval, and you can just you can document that, see that's kind of going on. It protects you. Now, at least if you've done this and there's any question and you didn't have signed paper and things went out and they accepted it, received it, I'm gonna say you probably have a good argument to earn that commission if something comes amiss, which I hope doesn't happen. But it's always good to have the secondary signed wet signature on that referral document that all of your market centers have for you to utilize when passing things along. So that's a broker to broker question, but my guess is they're going to want you to do that too. Remember, I'm not a broker, just showing you how to use the tool with some best practices associated with it. Who's got questions? Kyle dropped off. Okay, so let me see if there's anything's missing and that didn't get answered in the QA. Go ahead and open up your mic if you have a question.
Yeah, hi, David. This is Patricia Irby. I'm on a team, and so I understand that the production and units would be pulled from the KW closings. And so since I'm on a team, those closings wouldn't go under me. So I think there's a way that you can just not put that information in and then just address it in the bio. Would that be correct?
Yeah, well, still it's going to be associated with closed transactions. So unless the teams are completely aren't written under you at all, right? In which I know sometimes that happens, that there would be some information. But yeah, in your bio, you can certainly address that. And also in your settings, if I just go to settings here, you can turn those on or off as to whether that information is actually displayed for you. So if I actually go to settings, profile, this is the agent to agent profile, right? And I click edit profile here. So you can cover that in your bio. Say I'm on a team, I've done 25 units this year, equating of $16 million, whatever it looks like. But at the bottom of this page, I could turn off those details if they don't truly reflect who I am.
But so just because I'm on a team does not necessarily mean that the information would not be there as to what closings I was involved
That's
in.
correct. It all depends on how your market center and your team are tracking your results. Like, because I know some people on teams that literally write all of their transactions under their Rainmaker, and therefore they are missing credit for certain deals. If you're on a team, you're writing a transaction, more times than not, you are still getting credit for the transaction. It's just the split at your market center level that's good. That's arranged with your team on your commission. So again, I would go in here and see what you're looking like, right? Because that data is going to kind of show up here on the screen.
All right, well, when I get my first transaction, I'll see what number is there.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, good question, though. Next question. Who's got a question? I love, somebody said they love Command more and more every day. That makes me feel great. If you're getting something out of this every day, then like I've done my job.
So David, this is Juanita in Richmond.
Oh, Juanita.
The showing of the referral information depends on, if I understood what you said, on the person you're referring it to, putting the information in the system on there.
You mean as far as tracking where they are?
Right.
Right. So if you send me a transaction to represent your client, okay, through the referral, when you send me their contact information, once I walk through all of this, it's going to prompt me to create an opportunity. Okay. And I'm going to do that. And you should encourage everybody with, yes, please create that opportunity. If I skip that, then you're really going to have little insight as to where they are in that status. Once that opportunity is created, if they are truly using opportunities as they should, then you're going to see that, and you'll receive an email notification every time they move from one stage to the next.
Right, but my question is, they must do that in order for it to work.
That's
Otherwise,
correct. That's what I'm saying. You're right. I have to create the opportunity here. I have to connect it here. If I don't connect it here, but then I go and create an opportunity inside my own platform, you still won't see it. Like that handshake has to happen at the referral level. For that, and then I have to do it. You can't do it for me.
Okay, that's what. So there's no way if that person maybe knew
right. That's what you force that conversation. Say, we're going to agree to do this. I need you to right now so I can see that the opportunity is created. And if you don't, then they skip it and you call them. Right? Yeah, I need you to do this before. And maybe that's why that signed paperwork is important. Like in order for me to send you the signed paperwork, I need to see the opportunity. And there's a couple of reasons why it doesn't happen. Like they're busy. They don't know how to use command. They don't have the training that you guys are exposed to in your region, right? Or in your market center. They just don't know how. You could coach them through it. Hey, I've got a great video. Come check out Dave's video. He'll show you how we're going to do this, right? Go talk to your market center tech trainer. Go talk to your team leader. But I need it to be in the system. But you are correct. They have to do it on their end.
So I have a question. When you, I guess, go out and create a new referral, that other agent on the other end is contacted somehow?
Yeah.
What's the connection and the communication after that?
They'll receive, so however they go about, they'll receive an email, they'll receive a push notification through Kelly, and they'll receive a notification through command.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess I pick up the phone and we have a phone conversation.
You could have a phone conversation, you could have an email conversation, you could chat through the referral here once that connection has happened.
Okay. Okay, but as soon as I put that new referral in there, they get some notification or that I'm reaching out.
Absolutely. Yeah, it happens right away.
Okay.
David, I have a question. So I'm from Princeton, New Jersey originally, and actually, I used to work summers in a real estate office up there when I was in high school. And the woman that owned that real estate agent just contacted me and said, we've got to do referrals for each other.
Okay.
So she's not a KW
Okay.
agent. So would I still set up the command email to her?
I would track it in through command. So that's this track referrals button here.
Mm-hmm.
This is for external.
Okay.
Okay, okay, that's good to know.
Because I have sent referrals to Sedona, Arizona, and we don't have a market center in Sedona, Arizona.
Okay.
And I have a good relationship with an agent who's a Remax agent out there. So I send them to him. And I track it through. So it's obviously not going to populate through command as well, right? Because he doesn't have command, right? So he won't have an opportunity pipeline. But you can add it through here so you can track it on your side. It's not going to show on your pipeline, but you can communicate and chat back and forth through here.
And then I would also send paper.
Oh yeah, I would definitely. I mean, even more so because outside of our external system, like you absolutely want to have that.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Of course. What else is there? There's got to be more. Right? Your minds are all buzzing and thinking, right? How can I leverage this? I see Bob in here talking about commercial. Commercial right now is kind of like, Bob's going to be in the system, right? So you can send a referral to Bob. Commercial, we don't sell commercial properties, right? Because they're not listed in the MLS typically, right? They're on the other platforms that they utilize, right? But you can still pass referral commercialized just through here through Bob. Because Bob will have an account in command, so I can still send a commercial referral through this platform. Hope that helps you, Bob.
If we have a referral that is passed, can we still put it into the system for tracking purposes, or does it auto-populate to a current date?
No, it won't. It won't auto-populate. If you put it in there now to track it, then one of those times we're saying, I haven't tried that. So if you say, hey, new referral, it might just be a matter of going through there, filling out, letting the other agent know that, hey, I'm putting this through the platform, even though we've already done this, right? Just go ahead and set the opportunity and just throw it into closed. They create an opportunity to move to closed. You could go that route, or you could just enter it as a track referral and then stagger that across to say this was closed.
Thank you.
Of course. Um, 10 till, like I said, today's a fairly lighter day. Are there any questions around referrals or any questions around the last 8 days that we've done in general that you have a question for that I could answer for you? If not, you get off 10 minutes early. All right, so I'm going to let you all go. Next week's family reunion. Who's going to family reunion next week or attending family reunion? We're really not going anywhere, right? We all got bummed out that we couldn't go to Vegas this year. I remember last time when I went to Vegas, big mistake I did last time that I went to Vegas family reunion. I brought new shoes like the day before I went. Bad idea. Bad idea. Don't have to worry about that today. But family reunion next week. What's that?
Is it all day? What? I didn't see anything with time frame.
Yeah, family reunion is all day, all week.
Okay.
So if you've signed up,
Yeah.
You'll have your registration. You can look at the breakouts. Highly encourage you that you take the time before the event. Go in now. See what breakouts you want to attend. Obviously, the general sessions with Gary, Josh, Jason. There's going to be a lot of cool things. The breakout rooms. We did a tremendous job at Mega Camp, right? So we're using the same platform that we used before. So if you attended that, the experience will be extremely similar to that. But you should look at the breakouts and start to earmark, okay, these are the sessions that I want to attend. And yes, they will be recorded.
I signed up, but I haven't received that. Where would I find that?
You inside of, if you already have that inside of Connect, I go to, I haven't logged in to check mine recently, but under Connect, under resources, there is events.
AW Connect. Okay.
family reunion. And then you should see that you're registered if you are. If you're not seeing your registration or it's not confirmed, I would recommend that you talk to your MCA.
Okay.
But on here, you can see the full agenda here, breaks out everything looks at by day.
When you in Connect, what did you go under to see that?
I went to resources and events. And then I went to family reunion.
Okay, yep, I'm there. Okay.
Quick question, David.
Yes.
Just wondering if these are recorded anywhere and I can access them later. I'm still waiting for my active status.
Yeah,
so I don't have access to command yet.
Oh, yeah. Every one of these sessions that we've done over the last 8 days, I put on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
So if you go to YouTube and oh, you have it already?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They post them on the YouTube channel and our technology Facebook page for the region.
Will you be doing any of the training over not next week, but the following 2 weeks?
Yeah. So after family reunion, we'll kick up back off again on the 22nd of February. I'll just bring my go back to my PowerPoint. Oh, hold on.
And also, will it be updated information or more information on the episodes as well?
It all depends. So these classes are going to be static-ish, right? So kicking back off on the 22nd of February, which is the first Monday after family reunion, we'll start this cycle all over again, right? Orientation, contacts, smart plans, opportunities in week 1, week 2, consumer designs, campaigns, and referrals. So that way you'll know every day what's Dave talking about today. Now, if there's a new update or a release to something, I will certainly incorporate that into the training. Right? There's not an update to every element and every applet all the time. So some of the information may be somewhat repetitive to you. I may put a different spin. I may focus on a different element inside of designs. Like this week, I talked about some social and some listings and some buyers. Next time I do it, I'll probably talk a little bit more to the design magazine. Fundamentally, they function the same, right? Next time I do opportunities, I may do a little bit, look down into a different checklist, into a different stage. Fundamentally, it's the same. Referrals will be relatively static. So it all depends on what new and fresh or who's teaching the class. So after this month, so I'm doing 4 weeks of this myself. And then starting in March, I'll be riding shotgun to the Market Center Tech trainers. So you'll see Kyle, you'll see Ted, you'll see Derek, you'll see Wendy, you'll see Shirley, you'll see Sheila, you'll see Shelly, a lot of SHs. And they're all going to be teaching these same courses in the same format that I am. But when they teach things, their nuance, can't see my shirt, it says nuance, their spin's going to be a little bit different, right? Because they focus on things differently. So you could learn something differently just by hearing by somebody else's presentation.
David, what's the YouTube channel again, please?
Sure. If you go to YouTube and search for, and I'll just paste it. If you follow the YouTube channel, which I will put the link in here in just a second, you'll get updated every time I push out a new video. So the link is there, and let me grab the Facebook link for you too, so you have that. You join our quorum on Facebook. The great thing about the Facebook group is that you all can support each other. Right, so if somebody asks a question, you know the answer, I have the answer. Don't wait for me or the Market Center Tech trainers to chime in. You can help somebody. That's what I love about our organization, right? You guys have the ability to support each other. So those links are now live, are there in the link for you there for you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate all the kudos. Yeah, keep coming back. Go watch the videos. And the Facebook group, and I will tell you that as new things come out, I may do shorter, quicker videos. Just kind of say, hey, here's us. Last week, designs came on. I did a quick video on that. So when there are enhancements or changes to the platform, right? Remember, you all know you get those notifications, right? In Command itself. But I also will kind of put out a quick training, or your Market Center Tech trainer might do a quick training, and then I'll tie those back to the daily trainings when we incorporate those into our sessions going forward.
David, what is the YouTube channel?
I'm sorry?
What is the YouTube channel?
So there's a link in the chat. So if you look in chat, there's a YouTube link.
Got it, thanks.
Yep.
Sorry, David, I'm going to take you back a bit to family reunion. I'm registered, but it's still asking me register now when I go into Connect.
I would just tell you to check your email for your registration, and then there should be some links in there to kind of process through. If it's not connected, I would have you go talk to your MCA.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Of course. And it just might be a matter of that they're letting you see certain things, but it's not all completely caught up with itself yet.
Okay, all right, thanks.
11 o'clock, everybody good? Any last burning questions before we disappear? All right, remember your resources in your Market Center tech trainers. Let them help you when you guys have follow-up questions. Utilize chat in the Facebook group, and we monitor those and we support where we can as well. But you're not on an island, right? I said this a couple times. You have tremendous amount of talented people around you, from your fellow associates, your ALC, your Market Center tech trainers, your Market Center leadership, and your regional leadership all have a valued stake in you guys succeeding in your businesses. So we're all here to help. Have a great day, everybody, and thanks for coming. And I'll see you on the 22nd if you choose to go through it again.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.